What's up and welcome to the Blitzpools Fan Zone. I'm Rohan Manglani, Sam Kapoor with me. What's up, Sam?
Good man, how are you?
Very well. There's only 4 games happening this weekend in the Premier League. We are talking about the best two from that, West Ham versus Arsenal, and then we will be looking at Spurs versus Aston Villa. But Sam, let's get into a recap a little bit. Arsenal versus Spurs, which Arsenal won. I'm so happy that I'm saying it. But what do you think of that game?
I think it was a great win for Arsenal. Winning a North London derby would do wonders to their confidence, and I think it was a good game to watch as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was that as soon as the game started, it was like from minute one. I think it was a game of of two ends. I mean, it was more of Arsenal, and then Spurs got into the game. I mean, towards the end of the game rather, but Arsenal did well. I don't think you expected that out of Arsenal.
To be honest, no. But I'm glad that you had bragging rights for an entire week, and it must have been a good week for you Gunners. So, what do you think this week? How's it going to be for Arsenal?
Yeah, so West Ham versus Arsenal. If we just have to preview it for a second, and obviously we'll go to our teams after that. But I think it's a good game. It's a good game for Arsenal to understand whether the progress has been real or whether it was just a pump because it was a derby game. So I think that's something which we have to find out because we've seen this throughout the season that whenever Arsenal have been doing well, somehow there's something in the middle which either they get a stupid red card or they, it's one game they totally switch off or something like that. So I think it's a big game again for West Ham also because they've had a very good consistent season. But like I told you, last game they lost to Man United. Obviously they didn't lose. I mean they lost only 1-0. But I mean I don't think that Arsenal should be worried about West Ham. Honestly speaking, I mean it's not like they have the best attack or they have a very good midfield, and we keep saying that. But what's your take on the West Ham Arsenal game?
No, I'm sorry to say, but I think West Ham's going to nick this one.
Really?
Arsenal has a midweek fixture in Europe. West Ham have a game in hand, and they're just 3 points behind Chelsea. This is that game in hand. So if they do win this game, they go equal in points for the fourth spot. So I think with Arsenal players fatigued, maybe West Ham being at home would have the advantage.
Well, let's see, Sam. Let's see how that goes. Alright, cool. Now we're getting into the teams. Last time, if you remember, I called Martin Odegaard and I said he's going to make a difference and he scored. Anyway, without much ado, well, I'm going for a 3-4-3 for West Ham versus Arsenal at the London Stadium, 8:30 on Sunday night. I've gone with Fabianski as my keeper. I've gone with Cresswell. I stuck to them last week. I'm going with Tierney. I think again he's in prime form. The way he's the kind of passion he's showing on the pitch at the moment, it's phenomenal. And I'm going for David Luiz in defense again, sticking with my back four which I chose in the last 2 games. What about you? What's your defense like?
So I'm going with four at the back. I have Leno in goal, but I have three defenders from West Ham because I just feel that they might keep the clean sheet at home. I have Cresswell, I have Kufa, and I have Dawson. Dawson interestingly has 11 attempts from set plays when it comes to scoring a goal. Kufal is great for his price. Cresswell is actually my vice captain in this game. And obviously from Arsenal, I have Tierney and I have Leno in goal. So that's my back four.
But that's a very interesting choice of of Cresswell being your vice captain. And do you do know that Dawson did score an own goal, right?
Yeah.
Again, so you're still confident, but
I still think that West Ham at home, they should keep a clean sheet against the fatigued Arsenal who's played in Europe midweek. So that's why I'm going with four at the back and expecting that West Ham keep a clean sheet.
you keep saying fatigued Arsenal, but I mean Arsenal doesn't have only 11 or 12 players. We have a good roster.
Let's see.
Okay, well, let's move on. Okay, my midfield is I'm sticking with Odegaard. He's my vice captain. Odegaard, he looks in prime form. He scored in both his last 2 games at the moment, so there's no chance I'm getting him out. I'm going with Emil Smith Rowe, and if you see, only purely because of the shots he took in the Spurs game. He has 4 assists in 13 Premier League appearances this season. He's created 23 chances, and right now, again, I think that these kids in the Arsenal team are creating a lot, are running a lot, they are out to prove something. So I'm going to stick with Emil Smith. I've gone for Jesse Lingard, only because I think that a person like him will score against Arsenal. Because I feel that somehow some of the players always come into form, always create that name against a team like Arsenal.
Lingard just got a national team call up, so it's going to be great for his
Oh
confidence.
God. I don't know what Gareth Southgate is really thinking. I mean, you can't call Jesse Lingard to the English team. There is no chance. You have like this. Look at the English players at the moment. I mean, that's I wasn't aware of that, but I think that's a ridiculous move.
So,
Who else is in your midfield then?
so I have the same four in my midfield.
And Souček,
I have
yeah.
Souček as well.
Yeah.
So for obvious reasons what you just stated, but because I've gone for a 4-4-2, I have two strikers ahead. I have Aubameyang and Antonio. West Ham has scored in their last 6 home fixtures, and when West Ham scores, it's either Antonio or it's Souček or it's Lingard or it's one of the defenders from a set piece. So that's why I've gone with Antonio as my captain, and I've gone with Cresswell as my vice captain.
That's great. I went for Souček only because I know how good he's in the air, and if Arsenal are even a little bit off in the air, I think Souček is that guy who will get that goal in the air. So my only worry, honestly, is Souček and Lingard, which again I've kept both of them in my team because I have a great feeling that they'll score. Souček has 8 goals and an assist in the last 28 Premier League appearances he's made. He's the only player to play every minute in the Premier League so far. How insane is that?
That's a great stand.
That's
Kudos to his fitness, man, in the COVID season.
You train teams. Wouldn't you love a player like that?
Definitely a manager's dream come true.
Absolutely right. Okay, and ahead I've gone for Antonio Lacazette, who's my captain, and because of his hold-up play, and Lacazette has such a good combination with the youngsters because Oba can't play the 1-2s with the youngsters, but Lacazette, because of his strength. And because of the way he plays with Emil and with Saka and with Odegaard, can play that 1-2. And I've seen this on a few occasions, and that brings out the best in Lacazette also. So he's my captain. 2 goals in the last 3 Premier League games for him. And I've gone with Oba, who was kept out because of disciplinary actions. And I know that as a coach, you do that. so yeah, that's my team. So who do you think is going to win it between me and you?
I think it's going to be me this week.
Well, let's see. Let's see how that pans out. Alright guys, let's just go through the rules in scoring. For every player who's played 55 minutes or more, he gets 2 points. Played less than 55 minutes, there's a point given. For every goal scored by a goalkeeper or a defender, that's 10 points. For every goal scored by a midfielder, that's 9 points. For every goal scored by a forward, that's 8 points. For every assist, that's 5 points. For every 20 passes completed by a player, that's a single point. For a clean sheet by a midfielder, that's a single point again. That's a clean sheet for a goalkeeper or defender is valued at 5 points. For every 3 shots saved by a goalkeeper, that's 2 additional points. For every penalty saved by a goalkeeper, that's 9 points. For every 3 successful tackles made, that's a point again. For a yellow card, it is -1. For a red card, it is -3. For every own goal, it is -2. For every 2 goals conceded by a goalkeeper or defender, it is -1. For every penalty missed by a player, it is -2. It's as simple as that. Let's move on to the games.
Okay, Rohan. So Aston Villa versus Spurs, 22nd March at Villa Park. 8th versus 9th. Aston Villa basically have scored just 1 goal in the last 3 games, whereas Spurs have scored 7. Spurs have won their last 4 meetings against Aston Villa, and Kane has got 5 goals against them. So, where do you think this one is going to swing?
Quite interesting, honestly, for me. Spurs just lost to Arsenal. They'll be looking to bounce back. But more importantly, in their last 5 games, like you mentioned, Aston Villa has got only 1 win. Now, they are not known for that this season at all. They've been putting up performances. They've been one of the teams which has been the most energetic teams, and that combination of Grealish, Barkley, Traore, it's just fantastic the way they are playing, and even their defense, including the keeper Martinez, have just been phenomenal. So this one is honestly a tough one to call. Obviously, we would go for Spurs because we would think that they are stronger and they'll come, but to point out that Spurs may miss Son in this game, so that's something to consider, and he's been a major factor for them. Gareth Bale was substituted earlier. That may not work well with his confidence, but then great players always have a way to find themselves back.
But Spurs don't have Son, like you said, but even Aston Villa don't have Traore. They don't have Grealish. So both sides are a bit depleted, but Spurs overall scored strength. Even I'm going to back Spurs to win this one, and Harry Kane to score goals again.
Yeah, Harry Kane, absolutely, man.
So what's your team like?
So I've gone with Martinez just because he has 14 clean sheets in the Premier League for me so far, and I think, but till the end of the season, he's going to be the keeper of the season this season. And Arsenal should cry over that. But anyway, I've gone for Target because he's given me great points in the past, and he's one consistent defender in this Villa side, well priced also. I've gone for Davison Sanchez. I've gone for Serge Rigoulian, obviously again obvious reasons, because he has 3 assists in 17 appearances, and more than anything else, the positions he gets himself into, and especially in a game like this. What about your defense?
So I've gone for Tyrone Mings. Basically, I've gone for 4 at the back again. I expect Mings and Alderweireld maybe to get me goals at the other end as well. I have Lloris in goal. I don't have Martinez. So I have 3 Spurs players out of my back 5.
You're backing them heavy.
Yeah, I am backing them heavy, and I don't think Aston Villa, I think they might not score in this game for all you know. So that's why I'm backing Spurs to keep a clean sheet maybe and get me some points.
That's a good point actually, because the way we know the way Mourinho plays. So that's a good shot you've taken. Anyway, moving on to my midfield. Again, I'm playing a 3-4-3 in which I have Lucas Moura. I think he'll be very important in this game with Son injured. I'm going for Trezeguet. Again, I think that he'll be an important part because, Villa are missing a few players. I've gone for Barkley, hoping that he plays and he starts this game, which I feel that he should because they were lacking that impact from him. And I've gone for McGinn, who I feel is also in some really good, form at this point of time. He's got a goal and 4 assists. In the numbers don't do justice, but I think that he will step up now when he's required the most. What about your midfield, Sam?
So the way you've taken Lucas Moura to make up for Son, I think Moura might play in the Europa League midweek. So I'm going in for Ndombele. I think Ndombele might pop up with a goal, and for his price, I think he's a good buy. He's created 17 chances, has 3 goals, 1 assist. So I've just gone there, taking Ndombele, and I've gone for Douglas Luiz in my Aston Villa.
Oh, that's a good pick, yeah.
Maybe in the absence of Traore and Grealish, he has a better role, a more goal scoring role, and he might get me some goals, man. What about your forward line?
My forward line is the Welsh Mafia, as Jeff had said the other day, with Gareth Bale. There's Harry Kane, who is obviously my captain. And I've also gone for Ollie Watkins because I think that, Ollie Watkins is a phenomenal striker. He's consistent. He has 10 goals, 3 assists in 27 games he's played for Villa. He has 177 touches in the penalty area. I mean, that is something to consider. I think that is, and I feel that the pressure is on Villa, obviously. But in a game like this, when I feel that Spurs is going to, make sure that they set their foot on the game by trying to attack. That's why I see that Ollie Watkins on the counter can be dangerous. If you remember what he did to Liverpool, earlier in the season.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. I'm going for Harry Kane as my captain as well. I have the same forward line like you do. And Kane is just 1 goal behind Salah in the Golden Boot race. I think this is going to be the match wherein he overtakes him.
That's a good call.
And then holds his lead to the end of the season.
Well, let's. I think that I don't know why, but I'm getting the feeling that for this game you have a stronger team. I don't know why, but anyway, time will tell.
So guys, that's a wrap for today's episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Please comment below with your predictions, and we will be choosing 5 lucky winners who will get a 250 bonus in their Blitzpool accounts.
This game does involve an element of financial risk. Please play at your own risk and play responsibly. Thank you.